Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of SimCity Ultimate City. Things are going ever so well in this city and I've made a couple of little changes. First of all, you can see we have tons of wind turbines over here. I actually unlocked a secret achievement for that, for having 24 in total, but power is becoming a bit stretched here, you can see, and so what I think we need to do is actually build a university and research the I forget the name of it. Let's have a quick look, we can find out. This thing right here, the concentrated solar array. Once we have that, that's going to provide power for the future, for the entire expansion of the city, I do believe. However, I haven't actually built one as dense and organised as this before, so that'll be a challenge as well to see if that works. But if not, we can probably just build another one of those and have two sites instead of one, so I think it's going to be doable. But that means building a university, which I was going to do this episode. However, we now have an upgrade available. Now this was stuck at around 500,000 for ages. I was watching my money, roll up. Here you can see we've gone over the million, and I was thinking, why is this not updating? And then all of a sudden, right before I hit record, it updates, and so now we can upgrade this. Excellent. There we go. So I'm actually going to leave this running because we can afford to, and maybe we'll get all the way up to the next one. But what we want here is the commerce division. That one right there, and we can add this to our row of cool buildings that are going to go down the side here. I'm going to put this one on that side of the street, and I really like this. The first thing you see when you come into the city are all of these government buildings for things going on like trade and stuff in our region, or in our city, so yeah, it looks really nice. But we can actually shut that down, I think. Can we turn that off? It costs 400 per hour, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, so as well as coming into the city and seeing all these nice buildings, you can see here some of them are shut down, but that doesn't matter. So anyway, let's go and have a look at trade. There's also a problem here. Storage is full. Well, we are trying to address that problem. So now all we need is... No, that's the wrong thing. Look at that. So all of those options that we had, actually all we needed was one building. We can now build a trade port. Things are going to change. Things are going to change around here. And what we need to do is build the train port on the train tracks. The trade port on the train tracks. And you can see that all of our power is in the way of that. So another reason to actually invest in a university and head in that direction. And since we're making so much money at the moment, maybe it's fine to leave the situation how it is for a while and just focus on education. So these buildings were actually put here in a sort of temporary fashion. This is where education is going to go. However, I didn't really think about it too much, so what we want to do is kind of plan ahead, figure out our layout for where the university is going to go. This garage dump is a temporary thing as well. And something else that has just popped into my head, we're playing in 3.0. I talked about that patch a couple of episodes ago. One of the things that they changed, which I've now tested and seen is actually a really good change, is when you put down the trees, they're much more likely to stay there. I think, let's have a look, I think around this area they've gone down a little bit, but before they would go down, in about 10 minutes of playing and you keep having to replant them, but now they seem to stick around for a lot longer. So one of the things I might do is actually fill up the entire area with trees, or at least wherever there's buildings, and then that helps keep down the pollution, keeps our city healthier. And you can see the residential area here is upgraded its density. Yeah, so everything is still good in the city at the moment. There's a problem with education. There were 40 people. Okay, we have a worker shortage. That could have a really bad effect if we can't educate our students. So in that case, we actually probably need to expand this again. So in the case of needing more people and expanding, what I'm going to do here is make this zone residential. Then the one next to it would be a commercial one. Now I was about to say that we can't do anything there, like add one, and we'll have to see what happens if these people will walk around to these shops, but we could just zone off this little bit right here, and then that'll do. And so there you go, another residential area. I'm going to keep our eye on how that impacts the city, and we just want to remove those two roads there because they're unnecessary. And so yeah, I've been keeping my eye on everything, it's all going well. Yeah, so I need to figure out where I'm going to build this university. Okay, I'm getting ready to build the university, and I made a big decision here. I've just shut down one of the ore mines, this one over here. I think it's more likely, now that I think about it, I should have shut down this one actually, because we want to turn this area here into residential. We should also have a look at how much we've actually mined up. So we go over here. Yeah, I definitely should have gone for this one. We've almost finished mining over here, and then when that trade port is gone, trade depot even, we'll build another one over there, and then a couple over here. It's nice to see how much we've actually dug up there, because it won't be long before we'll get rid of these, and then we can finish making all of that area in. I was about to say industrial, I mean residential. But one thing that I've done here, you can see, is we now have another school, and that's why I shut that down, because I decided that with these worker shortage problems that we should actually move some of the jobs over here into education. So that's why I've shut that down, so people that were working there will hopefully come over here and work in the educational area. And so I put that right there next to the entrance of the school, of the city even, which I think is a cool place to put it. So we're going to shut this one down. So I've started off by removing some of the buildings on top to hopefully send people over here, but you can see that actually that didn't work. So that has given us a little bit of an educational problem. If we have a look at the map here, you'll see that there are now a few people unemployed, not enrolled in the city. The buses are still going around. Where are those ones? They're going to the high school. Yeah, so I should actually open those back up, get the extra people in school, and wait until we can swap over. Like that. There we go. So we can swap over onto the new school. But what was really cool with this is that because I got so much money, it was just like, well, I want to move the school, let's rebuild it over there, and it was as simple as that. But then behind here we're going to build a nice area for the university, and I think what I want to do when I destroy this building is map out some of the roads over on this side. So we're going to have the road going all the way up to here, and then going across onto here, and just having a look at it and see how it affects traffic and if cars are going to start using that, and then figure out what we're going to do with these middle roads, because we've seen people come over from this side of the city across here and then down here and around to get to work. Now to get to the coal mine, the trade depot, and these two places, you know, that does make sense, but we don't want them going all the way around there to then get to the smelting factories. So yeah, that's the reason I want to work on the road layout. But before I can do that, I just have to wait for the worker shortage to go away. Ah, right as I hit record, it goes away. See this little green truck here? And it's now going around in a loop. Okay, I don't know why it did that. It went up this road, down here, and then up again. But I just noticed that it was going around in a circle on this bit here, which is just so strange. And there's an intersection here, and I've just seen why. If you have a look there, there's a tiny strip of road that could be upgraded. Aha! Excellent. Okay, so that's increased or decreased traffic problems ever so slightly by removing a intersection. So you can see I've done a lot of rebuilding over here. I've had to move the garbage dump right down into this corner because it was in the way of expanding the roads over here. So I've also moved the school over to this bit. That hasn't gone too smoothly. There were quite a few people unemployed, not enrolled last time that I checked, and I keep tutting as well. But you can see here now they're going into school. It's still morning, so they'll be getting picked up by the buses, and we can actually observe that if we go to the educational map. So where are those not enrolled people? Maybe they've all been picked up now. And yeah, I've expanded another area down here as well, by the way, and also you can see here I've added bus stops. So actually I think everyone is probably enrolled now. 23 people not. And they're getting picked up. You can see the number is going down, so everything is still fine in our city. The whole reason we done this little rebuilding here was so we could build a university, which I wanted to put on this curved road. I'm not sure that's the best idea. Let's go and do this. We have the money to buy it, so we can just go ahead and build ourselves a university. So we can put it right there in the middle. It has to go off to one side by the looks of it. We'll probably put it offset on that side. And I think that is going to look pretty damn cool. Yeah, that's really nice, that is. And that's actually affecting these people over here. Hopefully that will help with their density. Let's have a look at that as well. Yep, some of these people are ready to upgrade. However, our power situation is pretty close at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if building the university would throw that over, but it hasn't. We actually have quite an excess at the moment, and that's because I've closed down this ore mine over here. If you remember, I closed down that one. I swapped those over so we can get rid of the or sorry, get the last of the ore out of the ground over here. Yeah. So we are getting really on track here. We need to start a research project. In fact, I think that's the one they're suggesting. You probably, Mayor Asuma, I know you probably have your hands full of requests now that you have a university. Can you put some time and research into a solar farm for the Great Works? That is not what I want to do. I have no idea what I want to do for the Great Works, but I don't think power is going to be it, because I built the solar farm before. Yeah, it provides power for your city, but I think we could do that by doing a research project, which is this one right here, which requires the School of Science. Of course it does. So we're not going to bother with dormitories because we have everyone in our city enrolled as it is. And so we need the School of Science. Have more university attend class. That's the School of Law, but it's probably the same thing. Yeah, so basically we have to reach the upgrade threshold. So after 1,000 students have attended, have attended school, we'll be able to get that. Now it's 1,000 and we have a capacity of 800, but don't worry, they'll attend 2 times in a day, so we can actually teach 1,600 people. But again, I think we need to get more people into the city. We've got a worker shortage over here again. That's a problem that I didn't really anticipate. The unfulfilled jobs thing, it tends to not affect your city when it's industrial, but when it's jobs that your city actually relies on to work, you know, all of these different smelting factories and public services, then it does seem to have a big impact. But have a look here at the number here just keeps going down, and the monthly transaction profit just keeps going up. It's insane. I think that was mainly because of the university that's been set back a lot. But that is 800 more people that will go to university, which means we can probably shut down parts of the school or the grade school, so everything should be okay. But I'm going to have to keep my eye on that in a moment. There is one of these that isn't working. Hopefully an engineer will head out and fix that. So, what do we do now? We keep our eye on power, that's for sure. And the money's still rolling in. How about the trade over here? I think I might shut that off for now. We don't need that anytime soon. So we'll just turn that off and save ourselves a little bit of money. And yeah, I can't really upgrade the density around here, even though they're ready to, until we have more power. So that's kind of the problem at the moment. Everything's in the balance. We have to do this research project. We have to get students into the school, so that's not going to happen until the next day. And I'm really not sure if there's anything else I can do in between. I think what we should do actually is have a quick check of everything. Traffic in the city seems to be good. If we have a look here, we've got some shoppers going out onto the avenue. That's not good. We don't want them doing that. They're crossing over the road and going into this area. It looks like they're coming over here to shop. Some people are heading back. What you want your shoppers to do is stay on the same road each time. So we've got a big crowd heading down this way, probably to these shops. Yep, you can see them going in. In fact, if we zoom in a little, that becomes a bit more obvious. We also have some shoppers that are driving from this place to that place. I saw there. That's strange. But in general, things look good. I mean, it's crowds of people that are walking in the places that I don't actually want them to go. And there's a load of shoppers leaving the city. Where are you going to go to? There's nothing else in the region. Let's have a look. It doesn't say we've got any shoppers commuting out, but we saw them leave the city. Very strange. But in general, things seems to be okay. As usual, some of the stuff that's going on here is a little confusing. So I'd say everything is okay there. Happiness, it's probably all going to be good except for 1 or 2 buildings. There's always 1 or 2 that can't get their act together. Density overall is pretty good. We can upgrade down here, which we're not going to do yet because we don't have the power for that. And the money situation, it looks okay. In general, it's okay. It looks very low, but these are the smallest types of houses, so I'd say everything looks good there. The commercial map is okay. A couple of buildings here not making that much profit. But overall, I'd say that's pretty good. Plus, these are lower density ones down here, so they'll catch up in due time. Industrial map, we've got nothing to do industrial. I added a park over here because, if you remember, we had happiness problems down here. That could have been affected by the negative effects of these buildings, so I added a park that wouldn't increase the land value that much, so they would stay in the lowest area. I think I might do that over here, actually. That's another little thing we could do. Just a basic sports park, I think is what I went. Public tennis court. Let's go with a very basic one. Let's build one of these and just put that there. And that didn't suppress the negative effect at all, so we will demolish that and try again. Okay. So maybe I will go with the tennis one. I think that's what we have over here. Public tennis court. Okay, so that's the one that's probably going to make the difference. And there you go. So we kind of suppress some of the negative influences over there. And let's do that one more time up here. Okay, so that's not going to affect those residential areas too much. Hopefully it will stay that way. And look, they get lots of happiness now. That's great. So industrial technology map, that's irrelevant for us. Power seems to be good throughout the city, although we're cutting it close with that one. Water should be okay, although these things you can't really check too well through the maps like that. So waste disposal, I can see that there are large amounts of garbage, although they're probably going to get picked up during the day. Fire hazards, as always, it's not really too much of an issue. Health is one of those things that's been surprisingly good. It has been very good actually, but we can't really analyse it from this map. Crime as well, still got a criminal, always a criminal in that building there, and that's it. So education, we can see that a couple of people over here are not enrolled. 4 kids, what time of day is it? It's still the morning, the buses are still going out, so that should be fine. That's not a problem, air pollution isn't really a problem. Apparently that might have been changed in the 3.0 patch, but I don't know, we've got tons of trees down now, so hopefully it doesn't have that much of a difference or impact. Okay, and the rest of this stuff doesn't really tell us too much about the city. We've got our public transport down there, so coal, we have plenty of coal in the ground still. And we're getting rid of the last bits over here. And that's pretty much it. We've got the trade map here as well. I haven't really looked into that too much to see what's going on, but you can see the little trade trucks going around, so I might watch that in a bit. But that's the data map. So what we want to look at here is these ones, so we can see these statistics. So everything's good. Power again is cutting it close. Everything's cool with the government. I haven't even thought about building these yet. Maybe we'll do that later. I want to progress to the next stage, you know, get these areas here, increasing their density, get the power situation sorted out, and really go all out with mining coal and ore so we can make tons of money from smelting, but that will take a while. And the trade port, that's the other important thing, and that's why we need the power, so we can actually get the train tracks across to a location for our trade port. So let's have a look. Everything is okay here. Maybe a little bit behind on garbage cans, and what we can do there is just simply add another one of these in case that's the case. We're at the point now where the budget is just so flexible that we can do that, you know, whereas before I would have built it, then kept my eye on it, and if it didn't make any difference I'd shut it down, but we're well and truly beyond that now. Okay, so everything is good here. A little bit low on the sick being treated. That tends to go up and down every time I check it. Sometimes it's quite high, sometimes it's not, but I don't think we need a hospital just yet. Everything seems to be good. Okay, crime is fine, and education is just a little bit behind, I think. 15 people that haven't been enrolled, so I'll work on getting that done. People are now in the university as well. Just 50 people. That's not what I expected, actually. So I might have to shut down the high school to get people to go to the university. I'll play around with that. Okay, and transport is fine. Yeah, everything's good. So the city is doing very, very well, and it's just a case of now getting people into the university. Okay, so I've shut down the high school to encourage people to go to the university. I also built the dormitory as well, which is supposed to help. I thought it increased the total amount of students you could have in class, but it doesn't do that. But anyway, it looks like it won't be long before we actually get to our goal there, which we'll probably do in the next episode. However, once we reach that, I'm probably going to open up the high school again, because if you look here, you'll see that we have 394 people that are not enrolled. But that is it for this episode. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.